Top 10 unique wars throughout history. Number 10. The Honey War. Iowa versus Missouri, United States, 1839 to 1851. The Honey War arose from a territorial dispute between the states of Iowa and Missouri over a narrow strip of land along their shared border. As settlers moved into the disputed honey lands, tensions escalated between Iowans and Missourians. Claims of beekeeping rights and ownership of honey-rich territories led to confrontations and occasional acts of violence. The Honey War is remembered as a peculiar and largely bloodless conflict, driven by the pursuit of honey and beekeeping rights. It serves as a reminder of how even seemingly trivial disputes can escalate into armed conflicts if left unresolved. The peaceful resolution through arbitration highlights the importance of diplomacy and legal mechanisms in resolving territorial disputes without resorting to violence. Number 9. The War of the Oaken Bucket. Modena versus Reggio Emilia, 1325. The War of the Oaken Bucket was another peculiar conflict between Italian city-states, Modena and Reggio Emilia. It originated from the theft of a bucket from a well in Modena by soldiers from Reggio Emilia. The most significant battle of the war took place at Zappolino in 1325. The Bolognese forces, led by Cangrande della Scala of Verona, clashed with the Modenese troops. In 1330, after years of intermittent skirmishes and negotiations, a peace treaty was finally signed between Bologna and Modena. Number 8. The Pastry War. France versus Mexico, 1838 to 1839. The Pastry War originated from a financial dispute between France and Mexico. French citizens and businesses in Mexico had suffered losses during political turmoil, and as compensation, France demanded financial restitution. In 1838, the French government, under the rule of King Louis Philippe, presented an ultimatum to the Mexican authorities, demanding immediate reimbursement for the damages suffered by Remontal. The Pastry War stands as a peculiar and whimsical example of how a seemingly minor incident can escalate into an international conflict. Number 7. The War of the Bucket. Bologna versus Modena, 1325. The War of the Bucket was a medieval conflict between the Italian city-states of Bologna and Modena. The war was sparked by the theft of a wooden bucket from a well in Bologna by soldiers from Modena. The theft of the bucket became a rallying cry for the people of Bologna, igniting deep resentment and a desire for retribution. In response, Bologna gathered its forces and launched a military campaign against Modena. The War of the Bucket holds an enduring place in the folklore and historical narratives of the region. The wooden bucket remains a powerful symbol of regional pride, defiance, and the willingness to defend one's honor. Number 6. The War of the Stray Dog. Greece versus Bulgaria, 1925. The War of the Stray Dog was a short-lived conflict that arose from a dispute between Greece and Bulgaria over a stray dog that crossed the border. The incident led to a skirmish, which escalated into a full-blown war with casualties on both sides. The International Commission's findings concluded that the stray dog incident was a minor and accidental violation of the border. It recommended a negotiated settlement rather than continued military hostilities. Number 5. The Pig War. United States versus United Kingdom, 1859. The Pig War emerged from a border dispute between the United States and the United Kingdom over the San Juan Islands, located between Washington State and Vancouver Island. The Pig War, an unusual dispute between the United States and Great Britain over the San Juan Islands in the mid-19th century. This curious event, which involved a stray pig, territorial claims, and a peaceful resolution, offers a fascinating insight into diplomatic negotiations and the power of restraint. Recognizing the potential for a disastrous conflict, both the United States and Britain sought a peaceful resolution. The two nations agreed to a joint military occupation of the San Juan Islands while awaiting a diplomatic solution. Number 4. The Cod Wars. United Kingdom versus Iceland, 1958 to 1976. The Cod Wars were a series of disputes between the United Kingdom and Iceland over fishing rights in the North Atlantic. Iceland sought to protect its fishing industry by expanding its exclusive fishing zone, leading to clashes with British trawlers. In 1958, Iceland declared an extension of its territorial waters from 3 to 12 nautical miles, asserting its sovereignty over a larger area. This move challenged traditional fishing practices and significantly restricted British fishing vessels' access to Icelandic waters. Number 3. The Football War, El Salvador versus Honduras, 1969. The Football War, also known as the Soccer War, erupted following a series of tense soccer matches between El Salvador and Honduras. Political tensions, land disputes, and social unrest led to an armed conflict that lasted only a few days but resulted in thousands of casualties. Following the matches, the simmering tensions between El Salvador and Honduras erupted into a full-blown armed conflict. In July 1969, El Salvador launched a military invasion of Honduras, citing mistreatment of Salvadoran immigrants and political unrest as justifications for their actions. Number 2. The War of Jenkins' Ear, Britain versus Spain, 1739 to 1748. The war was sparked by an incident where the British merchant ship, Rebecca, was boarded by Spanish forces, resulting in the captain, Robert Jenkins, having his ear severed. The conflict began officially in 1739 when Britain declared war on Spain. British naval forces attacked Spanish ships, disrupted trade routes, and targeted Spanish colonies in the Caribbean and South America. The War of Jenkins' Ear, born out of an ear-severing incident, grew into a significant conflict that had far-reaching implications for European colonial powers. Number 1. The Emu War, Australia, 1932. In an attempt to address the overpopulation of emus damaging farmlands, the Australian government declared war on emus. However, the emus proved to be formidable opponents, and despite using military weapons, the human soldiers struggled to control the emu population. In an attempt to alleviate the emu problem, the Australian government deployed a contingent of soldiers armed with machine guns to the affected regions. Led by Major G.P.W. Meredith, the troops were tasked with culling the emu population to protect the agricultural interests of the region. As news of the Emu War spread, it garnered national and international attention. Media outlets portrayed the conflict as a bizarre and somewhat comical struggle between humans and birds.